It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
This might be the lowest day of my life.
That's right. Steve's lost family, loved ones, pets, had breakups. Today, the day where he had to reflect publicly on being had on a $450 Facebook transaction, is the lowest point of your existence.
It sucks too.
I can only say I'm sorry.
And Kyle.
I get you're in a tough spot.
I know.
So I appreciate all of the Twitter snitches and the people who keep me up to date because, again, I don't listen, not a fan. Terrible production.
Yeah, production awful.
So I need someone to keep me informed as to when more of my and our intellectual property is being stolen by the fat cats down on Ottawa.
Now, here they are, two guys who are living in style, Steve and Kyle.
I knew it.
Off to a hell of a start.
I like to get...
Oh my god, that was so perfect.
I like to get a rip... I still, to this day...
Air piano?
I air piano right along with K-Mac.
Yeah.
And... You know, it's been a few weeks, Steve, since I've been here.
I know, this is nice. It's every time that we are in here together, there's something new.
Yeah.
Like this studio APS 4.0, it keeps evolving. Mm-hmm. We got an on-air light now.
We do. The on-air light is up.
That my wife bought me 5 years ago. I think she bought that for me like the first Christmas that we were doing this podcast, so 2016. But since you've been here last... which was a couple of weeks ago. We got new microphone stands. By the way, that is going to fall off again. Might just want to take that off for now.
Yeah. Nothing. We're nothing.
I'll worry about that. I'll worry
nothing
about that after the big broadcast. But yeah, so we start. The piano solo hits, and you go to air piano. But since we have new microphone stands, the stand is now in a different spot.
Yeah.
Slightly different, so you have to alter your air piano just a bit.
Well, we found like the one low profile microphone arm,
which I love.
That exists.
I love them,
and
there are plenty of them. These are the only affordable ones.
Well, I don't want to complain.
Of course not.
But this is kind of shutting down my whole gimmick.
Yeah.
Because I'm a real pronounced guy. And when I talk...
Yep, that's what I would...
And when I am making a point, I use my hands.
Yep.
And I use my arms when I make a point, as well as when I air piano.
Sure.
So, this thing right now, I feel like I'm in a prison cell.
It's ruining your mojo.
It is.
Well, maybe swing it back in.
Maybe I can do... Is this okay?
No.
That's okay.
Maybe
hang on. Is this okay?
One more time.
Is this okay?
Nope. No. I got an idea. How about we get you one of those old time microphones that like the ring announcer at WWF would have, where it just comes down from the ceiling. That way you're unrestrained.
An old school boxing one. The second best option is I bring in here what we bought a year and a half ago. Is our microphone stand.
Oh, it's right behind you.
Oh, it is. Because every time I see it,
we could rig it up so it just kind of so the stand actually sits behind you.
Yes,
and the microphone comes over your shoulder.
Right from the ceiling.
Yeah, straight from the ceiling.
Right from the ceiling. Because every time I see one of those, I'm reminded, and this is a long time ago. I think everybody has that moment where they realized, well after Full House, that Bob Saget was a dirty comedian.
Yeah.
Because that was an unknown, right? I mean,
it broke your brain too.
Yes,
because I was such prime demographic for that. I was when that show was on. I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old because it would have been early. I think it started in like 89 or something or 87.
That sounds about right.
I was born in 81, so yeah, I would have been in early 90s. I'm 10, 11 years old. Perfect. But yeah, when you find out that Bob Saget
87, by the way. 1987 ran for 8 seasons.
When you found out that Bob Saget wasn't a cleaning-obsessed single dad...
Right. It makes you... I mean, granted, this is the 80s. Everybody auditions. Everybody does whatever.
it makes you wonder, what did the casting director see of Bob Saget?
Yeah.
And think, boy, he would make the perfect widower for this family of daughters.
Right.
But anyway, I saw a stand-up special, again, 10 to 15 years ago, and it must have been HBO. And I don't even remember the joke. It was some filthy joke. And he had his microphone stand like you see behind. And I even feel like those are now, they're still on a lot of the stages, but most people will pick up a wireless microphone and move the stand out of the way. But Bob was using this as a prop, which I thought was, I loved it. So a couple of the times he would tell a joke, and then he would take the stand, boom, smack it on the ground and say, that's a joke. And so that's what I want to do.
Okay, so in honor of Bob Saget, now that he has passed, by the way, there was a big Twitter
oh my God, yes.
Hubbub made about something Bob Saget-centric that we need to get to.
Yeah.
Needs to happen.
No question.
But so is this going to be? So this is going to kind of be twofold for you. It's going to be your new thing, but it's also going to be your Bob Saget tribute.
Yeah,
Safe
so
to say?
it's a rip-off tribute.
Okay, so
I'm stealing part of his gimmick that I don't even know if was a consistent part of his gimmick or if this was part of one special.
So something he may have only done one time.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm going to take that and incorporate it in this podcast by whenever I make a joke, reaching 3 feet behind me, grabbing this and saying, that's joke.
That's a joke. All right, I like it.
Sounded a little better on the HBO stage.
Yeah, didn't
but those stages. Now, granted, you, Steve, and I know you don't like to talk about it. You've been on the big stages.
Look, I've graced the wooden the wooden screen a time or two.
But those are
the silver screen, the other screens.
If I had to classify, now, granted, I haven't been on the big stage.
Oh, look, you know what? Tell me your thoughts. I'll let you know if you're on the right path or not.
If you could rank them, would you declare the big stage as more of a hard floor and what we're on today as more of like a medium floor in terms of hardness?
I think it's safe. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that.
So if I were to, slam the That's a Joke mic stand on the big stage, it'd probably have a little more pop in one, a bigger room, and two, a hard floor compared to a medium floor.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's. I think you're on the right path.
Pretty much, I feel like I've been there then. By the way, you've got a couple of those coming up, and I apologize because I do not want to get distracted.
No, that just triggered my brain too. Something that somebody had posted on Twitter. I think needs to be discussed.
Yep, I don't want to get too far removed because the Bob Saget Paul Bearer situation is one that deserves the time that we have to devote to it coming up here shortly, because. How insane that something like that happens, that picture, mere weeks after we break down a legitimate hierarchy of pallbearers. This picture, if you haven't seen it, we'll retweet it so you can look at it as
it's a couple weeks old at this point, but we've been distanced doing the podcast the last couple of weeks. But big thanks to whoever tweeted that at us for the first time.
Yeah, boy, oh boy.
I love the fact that our listeners, their brains are always with us here at the podcast.
Yeah, and that was our friend Jonathan Baker, and I have questions, and I also have a lot of anger about this picture.
Anger.
I feel like they're doing Bob Saget a disservice by what I'm looking at.
Okay,
but we'll get to that here on the turnaround. But our friend Mark Calhoun, who lives in the Upper Peninsula of this great state of Michigan. Apparently, a bunch of yahoos down the road, the big fat cats in Ottawa, as you heard in the intro there, have announced just one date or multiple dates coming up.
They're kind of trickling out.
Okay.
Yeah, we have.
But you guys are going back on the road.
We are, as God willing, as long as as long as things continue to improve with this whole COVID.
Yeah. If there's a time to pick to make sure you can get on the road and really pack a bar or a building.
Right.
It's now.
This is it. Well, I think we're kind of in the mindset of everyone else is doing it.
And at some point, you have to deal with what's going on as well as you can to be able to continue what it is you guys do. You've been on the road for, I mean, when I worked there, so at least 9 years, 8 years.
It was.
If I remember, I started working the board for your live shows, even just in Grand Rapids, like day before Thanksgivings, probably 2012.
Well, I know for a fact when the first actual live remote broadcast was. Because it was about 3 weeks after I started.
Okay,
because
there was
a big push when I first started to make sure I knew how to run the board for the big Nashville live show that was going to be the first one ever.
Because for the first 2 years, would you say you were responsible for staying back?
Because... I didn't consistently travel with the show. I did from time to time, maybe. I know I went to like a couple of Portland shows, but I wasn't I wasn't consistently traveling until 2015, 16, something like that.
I feel like it was before that because I did those for a few years for you whenever possible. But again, I could see why they would make sure you stay back. That production already suffers. So
exactly.
Sure
you gotta
someone's there.
Don't want to really shine a spotlight on how bad it is.
But those dates are coming up.
Yeah,
and so that puts us back on the clock as well. Not just you for the side gig and your work, but the Kyle Fathead tour needs to resume.
We need to, first of all, I think we need to make a missing persons poster,
honestly,
and find out where that thing is. Because if you said to me, if you asked me when the last time I saw that was, I have no idea. At least
3 years?
At least 2.5. Well, our last live show was a morning and night show that we did in Nashville in January of 2020. So that is the last possible place it could have been.
But I don't think it was there.
It may have been, so that would have been a live show at Dick's Last Resort in Nashville in January of 2020, or at the Wild Horse Saloon in Nashville that night. But before that, I mean, we would have done a show. It could be in Portland, because we would have done a show in Portland the previous December of 19 at Aura. And I want to say I saw it there, but I don't know. We've done a couple of shows there. I know it's been there before, but I don't know if it made it for that one or not. So it could be anywhere. So we're putting out the call.
Man,
where is the Kyle bobblehead, the Kyle Fathead?
So I now know where it was last supposed to go.
Where?
It was but I don't think it got there.
I remember there being some weirdness.
Did you do an Iowa show?
No. Iowa? No.
Maybe she lives in Iowa.
Maybe
Wisconsin. Wisconsin in, it looks like June.
Of 19?
Of 19. So I have communication. So obviously we put the call out sometime in 2019. And this fine listener was going to go to a show in Wisconsin for you.
Yep.
And bring this. I received the address for this person, but I also don't know who I sent that address to send it to.
Can we check our sent messages?
But you can't, at least granted, I'm not fully savvy in terms of how to do that. I don't believe I can search through the content of the messages. I can only search for names that I had sent to or groups that I had sent to.
Oh, so this was through social media like Facebook?
Yeah, so this is a Twitter DM. So I'm going to reach out to this person and see, hey, you didn't happen to ever get it, did you?
We're gonna.
Because I don't think I did.
We just need to put the call out. We need to find that because, at this point we have announced a Grand Rapids night show in April of 22. We've announced... we're about to announce another one very soon. And then I think Green Bay has been announced also. We have a morning and night show there in June.
Okay. But is the Grand Rapids one the next in line? The first?
Yeah.
So when is this UP show? Or was that...
That is in mid to late May.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be after the night show. So what we need... Right off that, no, this has happened before. Our friend Timmy tried to get a fathead into
that's right. They
that
wouldn't.
venue.
They wouldn't let him.
Yeah. So this night show is a no-go.
Yeah, probably, unless you can figure out a way to like put it under your clothes or something.
So
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember that there were going to be, like people were supposed to sign it and then pass it along.
Yeah, I believe it has some signatures and stuff on it from when they had it, when they used it. But again, right now, the main priority is where is it?
Yeah, we need to find this.
So
we need to track it down.
I am hoping it didn't get lost or thrown away in a move, which I would fully understand. And I could see that. So if you have this, and granted, we're looking back 2 to 2.5 years at this point. If you have this, please let us know. If you remember who we I'm sure we addressed it on air, who was going to get it or who we were planning on.
I'll have to go back and check social media because I know that I would, whenever I would see it at a show, I would always post it, like post a picture. So maybe we can at least find a... At
this point, it's just digging on our end to try to find the last photograph we have.
I'll tell you what, if somebody can dig through our social media...
this is the right way to do it.
We got a lot going on here.
This is the only way to do it. We need someone else to do the legwork.
Yeah,
we need you to find the last time the Fathead was posted on our social media at a live event. Because my guess is that person is the last one who would have it.
Yeah,
but again, we're talking 2019.
I mean, that's the person that we start questioning.
Oh, right, yeah, and I don't think we play nice at all. No. I think we go right to the accusations. Ask them why they thought it was okay to steal our items.
Or what'd you sell it for?
That we didn't make or pay for.
Yeah, no.
We paid a one-time shipping cost to ship it to the first person.
Right.
So, as of now, though, the next event then is going that the Fathead will be allowed at. Mm-hmm. Is this morning show only? In the Upper Peninsula, right?
Yeah, that is morning show only. Actually, there is one that will be that I don't think has been announced yet.
That might be before that.
It is before it. It's definitely there are
a couple,
1, 2, 3.
I can't wait for the podcast inconveniences for this.
Shouldn't be maybe for one of them. April. Look, April's a heavy month.
That's what everybody says.
April is a heavy month. Maybe put that on the poll. Is April a heavy month?
Is April a heavy month? And is the only time to get on the road? April
of a pandemic year.
Yeah.
So
we have to wait to officially put the call out for what will be the next
Maybe we have
show.
it just returned to us, and then we.
Okay.
I mean, look, we gotta put up a couple bucks to ship it, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine. It's probably okay if we have that back in our. For now,
we gotta restore it, make sure all the settings are just right.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it could be somewhere the first Friday in April.
Okay.
The second Saturday in April.
All you markets listening, cross your fingers right now that these yahoos are headed your way.
The fourth Friday in April.
Boy, can't wait for this.
The first Monday, the first Friday in May.
Mm-hmm.
Then, Upper Peninsula, second Friday. Is your buddy Chris going to join us for that?
No chance.
Okay.
Where in the Upper Peninsula?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. No chance.
Where's he live? Marquette?
He lives as far away as you can get in the Upper Peninsula. Houghton,
okay.
Or Hancock, whatever. If you're up there, you know what I'm talking about.
We are at the hotel that is located in Harris, Michigan.
Harris?
Yeah, it's...
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I had never heard of it either. Look, then we got the middle of June. It could be somewhere. We got... looks like that. That's about it for right now.
The spring and summer of the Kyle Fathead returns. I
am
excited.
Yeah.
I want this to happen again. I love this every time I see those pictures pop up. I love seeing our merch out at these shows.
I think that if we can't find it, if it is gone forever,
we have to make a new one.
I mean, obviously we do a photo shoot.
Yeah. Professional
photo shoot.
And we make a new
for one picture.
Yep.
Just a headshot.
Mm-hmm.
And by professional photo shoot, of course, I mean you standing against a white wall in my house. We'll turn on a lamp so you're lit well.
Yep.
You got to do some kind of goofy face, right?
Oh, yeah. I'll be wacky.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's, pull my lip to the side or stick my
do
tongue
the old
out.
like the old Bullwinkle.
Yeah. Or go cross-eyed for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Those are all options.
Good.
But yeah, we will. If you know where it is or if you have it, please send us a message. We would like to get that back, and we will send it along to wherever it needs to go. But yes, if you listen to the side gig and you now know that they're coming to your town or they're going to a show that you have tickets for, please let us know if you'd be interested in being honored enough to hold the Kyle Fathead.
Yeah, it's a big responsibility.
Okay, so the last time we put the call out for the Kyle Fathead.
Oh, wow, you're really going...
February of 2020. So that was 3 weeks before
Pandemic.
COVID.
What did we say? So we were just
You had a live show in Albany in April,
Yeah.
Flint in April, and Wilkes-Barre for April as well.
Boy, it's funny how that takes me back because I remember that Friday being at work, and it was when COVID was really like everyone. I think it was the day that everything shut down. Basically,
yeah.
Is it the whole 2 weeks to stop the spread or whatever it was.
Steve,
you got it?
I think I found it.
Who do you got?
I think we're lucky.
Okay.
I think
our friend. Is it in town?
The same friend who tipped us off to the Bob Saget, Paul Bearer situation.
Are you serious?
Jonathan Baker.
So it's full circle.
I think the last mess. Now, granted, this has to be it. This has to.
Yeah.
Because it was February of 2020. It
Message him right now.
Anywhere.
Message him right now. Get his phone number. We're getting him on the phone.
Yeah, because I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, is it still around? Like, did you ditch it in November of 2019?
Oh man, maybe things got so bad for him during the pandemic.
It.
Maybe he burned it for warmth, ate it for sustenance.
Yeah, I will message him right now, and whatever we're doing, whatever we're talking about, as soon as he messages me back, we break into programming.
Okay.
So we can call Jonathan Baker to see the status of the Kyle Fathead.
Yeah, of course. So I'll just hit the some kind of
one of the buttons.
Yeah.
Just it doesn't matter which one, and we'll interrupt whatever we're doing. So I think you know what? I don't need any of you idiots. I got it myself.
Okay. I'm looking forward to finding out where it is. So he's local?
He is GR. He is in West Michigan. Oh, I'm sorry. Just south of West Michigan is where he lives. But
we can have it in our hands this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to save on shipping.
Jonathan, get your car, get moving.
Yeah,
okay?
you bring it to us, obviously.
Get in.
We'll meet you in a parking lot, blindfold you. We'll bring it. We'll show you the studio. You know.
Yeah. Hey, cool. Welcome.
Maybe give you a Kit Kat or two.
Jonathan is around to talk. What's your number, idiot?
Does he still interact with the show?
He just tweeted us the Bob Saget picture a week ago.
Okay, I was going to say, because what if it was one of those people that, like, I don't know, there are plenty of people who fall off listening and just decide to...
Yeah, I mean, we've been vocally told that by at least one half of the Brothers Humphrey.
Oh, yeah, they hate us.
That, for whatever reason, we are personas non gratas. I believe that's how you would make that multiples.
Let me pull up my...
So... I can't believe this.
Okay, pet peeve alert. When people don't put dashes or spaces in phone numbers.
Let me ask you this.
It drives me insane.
Let me ask you this, though, Steve.
Yeah.
Are you a dot or a dash person?
I'm a dash.
Really?
Yeah.
I changed to the dot. I want to say
Are you talking
5 years
Are you talking like period?
Yes.
Okay, or because I like bullet.
No.
You go bullet? Ooh. That's nice.
The hierarchy of phone number differentiating.
We may have to come back to this.
Because this is a big deal. I would argue, now that you point that out, bullet is number one.
Oh, of course. Bullet's like presidential.
Personally, the period is number 2.
That's nice.
I would put the dash at number 3.
And just a space at number 4?
I think if you're spacing it with nothing in there, I think you're an idiot.
All right, so who are we talking to now?
This is Jonathan Baker.
Jonathan Baker.
Yeah, and I don't believe we've ever spoken to Jonathan on the phone, so this can kind of count.
Okay.
as a 2 minutes of awkward conversation, which, as you know, we love to bring back whenever we have the option to do that. Oh man, we're going way back. Jonathan bought one of our Volume 1 T-shirts.
Hello, Jonathan?
Yes.
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. It's your friends at the Steve and Kyle podcast. That was weird. I don't know why the phone didn't ring at all on our end. But hey, how are you today, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Very good. You're live on the podcast. I hope that is not a problem for you. If so, we will edit you out. But don't make it a problem because I don't want to do any extra work.
Honestly, Jonathan, that would really inconvenience a whole lot of Steve. And then Kyle would have to send a few texts like, oh, man, I can't believe that happened. And I'm not doing anything about it. I just don't want to have to send that fake sympathetic text.
Yeah. So we're good? Everything good?
We're good, yeah.
Okay, we have a very important question for you.
I've got a million questions for you,
We do. We have a million questions. So consider this a very impromptu 2 minutes of awkward conversation. Apologies for not letting you know in advance, but as you know, we don't really plan things. We don't really plan things out. We just kind of turn on the mics and start talking. So, where do you want to start, Kyle?
Well, I mean, I have questions about one, your Twitter handle.
Okay.
Two, you are a OG in terms of merch. You have a hand-stuffed, hand-packaged, hand-printed T-shirt from our round one of T-shirts. I want to ask you about that. But most importantly, and why we got you on, I wanted to...
Don't let us down, Jonathan.
Please don't hurt our feelings. We wanted to know, do you still have the Kyle Fathead for the Kyle Invades tour that's been going on for way too long?
I am staring at it right now.
Hey! Well, that is fantastic. Boy, I got to tell you, I was a touch nervous because that's an item that if you moved or you did anything, right? That would be an item where you would say, well, I'm obviously throwing this away. Oh my God. Why would I transfer this to my new dwelling?
History has just been made. This is the first time in the history of this podcast that we have had a question and found a correct answer or had like a good outcome all within one episode. This is normally one of those things we'd bring up as the outro music is playing. We wonder, and then we never talk about it again.
Yeah.
The fact that we have solved something is amazing.
Yeah, this is outstanding. So, Jonathan, you've had this thing for 2.5 years now.
Yes.
The monkeys over at the side gig just announced some big Yahoo event coming up in April. You'll get to hear we discuss that on the podcast. A real hard floor up there. Is that something you're going to, or have you lapsed on the feces throwing monkeys and you're just a podcast listener?
Or us. I mean, maybe in the last couple of weeks, because we know that you've interacted with us on Twitter recently, but I mean, maybe something we did last week or the week before kind of turned you off to us, and you've moved on.
No, I'm still an avid follower of the monkey or the feces throwing monkeys, and of course the high quality podcast.
Thank you,
gentlemen run.
Thank you. Can't be said enough.
It's funny though, because I was talking to my wife last night about that. You know, the live at night show with the feces throwing monkeys.
Yeah,
and we were looking at the tickets, and I was like, man. I don't know if I want to pay that much to be that far away from them because it's all junk seats now. So we're still trying to decide if we're going to that or not. Okay.
All right. Yeah. You I mean, I get it. You only had 2 years and a couple of months to buy the tickets. It's, I mean, why rush into it?
True.
Well, you know what? I don't want to talk out of turn here, Jonathan, but I happen to know a guy. And I think he could probably get you first row, second, third.
Who do you know?
Fourth.
Who's your guy? I might need to get in touch with him too.
Okay, so Jonathan, you may be left to the the Ticketmaster vices at this point. So you have the fathead, but that's okay because you're questionable on the Live at Night show, and as it turns out, they may have some other item. We can't bring it there anyway. Because last time it was confiscated from our friend Timmy.
Ugh.
So, Jonathan, what we need to figure out, and do you go by, is it John or Jonathan? What do you prefer?
Usually John.
Okay,
all right, Jonathan.
I'll go by Jonathan. We need to figure out a way then to get that fathead from you, so we can then because you know what you've more than carried your weight of this item, because the fact that you said you still have a wife when at some point she's had to walk around that house and just shake her head, no doubt shake her head, and say, what in the world is this picture of some person I've never met sitting in my living room?
John, Jonathan, does your wife listen to the podcast?
No.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, not a fan of the production, I hear.
Are you at home right now? Is she at home right now?
I am home right now. Yeah, she's here.
She's here. Okay. Where are you sitting at? Like, describe where you're sitting. You in the living room, the dining room, kitchen?
No, I'm up in the bedroom because we have terrible cell phone signal, so I have to go up to a certain area to be able to
closer to the satellites. Mm-hmm. Okay, so is there does your wife have like a place in the house that is like her little getaway spot? You know, maybe it's like maybe she has a spot downstairs that she goes to read, like a reading nook or a crafting corner or something like that.
Not really.
Okay, what is her favorite spot in the house?
Probably the bedroom.
Okay,
and
I need you to grab.
Yeah, that's right, Jonathan.
I need you to grab. The fat head, a hammer, and a nail.
Right into her pillow.
And I need you to just nail it right to the wall. You know, because she's supposed to support the things that you're into.
Yeah, just like, you know, the really religious people will do with a cross above their bed, but you do that with a fat head of me and just over her side of the bed.
Well, and so, Kyle, you've been sitting next to me for the past 2.5 years. You're right next to where I lay on the bed.
Happy to be there.
I've been waiting for this call. She asked me at one point, she's like, "Are you really keeping that?" I said, "They're going to ask for it back, and I'm going to be ready."
You've been an excellent steward of the Kyle fat. You know what this reminds me of, Kyle?
Yeah.
This reminds me of when I was in kindergarten in Mrs. Newton's class at New Albany Elementary School in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. And we had a class hamster.
Oh, yeah. And everybody has to take him home, right?
And his name was Cinnamon. You know, Cinnaminson,
obviously.
Cinnamon.
Yeah, very clever.
And it was finally my weekend to take Cinnamon home. And I was so excited. And I took Cinnamon home, and that was the weekend of a big snowstorm.
Oh, no.
So we ended up having Monday and I think Tuesday off from school. Yeah, I know. This is exciting. So I got Cinnamon for like an extra 2 or 3 days.
Hey.
Jonathan, this is basically your Cinnamon.
This is my Cinnamon, and I got 2 years.
Yes, you have 2.5 years with this piece of cardboard.
Stupid.
that had, you know, obviously had the COVID stalled. But yes, so we, Jonathan, we will be in touch because,
okay.
Yeah, we'll get that back from you somehow. We'll pay you to ship it or however we need to do it. I know you're
local. You're local here in town, right?
I'm in Kalamazoo, but I go up to Grand Rapids pretty regularly. So
okay, so if we could get that back by noon today, that would be great.
Yeah, honestly.
We really got to start prepping.
All right, that might be a little difficult, but I'll work on that.
We
only have 2.5 months to get this thing in order, and we need to do that. So
if you could, once we get off the phone, if you could send us a picture of it, we need to make sure that it is in the pristine condition, maybe front and back. We want to see are there little notes or signatures on the back of it or anything?
There, well, let me.
Because I don't want to have to. I don't want to pull a security deposit.
Yeah, right.
The idea was that we were going to put something on it. It was like stickers or something. Oh yeah, no. So we've got a it says "Be an Outsider" was a sticker that I think Scott Garland put on it from Portland, Maine.
Okay.
And it looks like he had it from May 9th, 2019 to November 9th, 2019.
Wow. Okay.
When you got it.
When I got it.
Okay.
So we didn't do a great job of keeping the stickers and the signatures going.
Well, look, I mean, after 2.5 years of this in your possession, I feel like you should have a few words to write for the back of it.
Yes, please do. Please sign that. We'll figure out a way that even if it's on one of your visits up to Grand Rapids, we can give you a spot that if you're in the area, you can drop it off. Otherwise, if that doesn't work, again, we'll figure out a way pay for you to ship that back to us. So,
this is a good feeling.
This is very exciting.
Thank you for holding on to it. If you could, once we get off the phone, just text a picture of it back to the number that we called you from.
Will do.
Also, I need to ask you, your Twitter handle is at Dr. John Baker. And as you know on this podcast, we are always on the lookout, Steve, for new experts that we can then badger once to twice a year about inane topics like we have with our friend Brian, who is the show Jewish correspondent.
Yes. I have an update on Brian, actually.
Good.
Something I want to talk about Brian once we're done talking to Jonathan.
So Jonathan, is this a ingest Twitter handle, or are you an actual doctor?
I am an actual. Well.
Oh boy!
Here
comes the hedging.
Here it is. What are you, a chiropractor or a dentist?
Psychologist.
Psychologist.
Oh my goodness!
Okay. All right. I don't have much experience with dealing with shrinks like you, but if you give us a little inside info. What goes on in your mind when you listen to this podcast? Do you is there something that you hear us say on a regular basis and you think, oh man, that's a classic case of blah blah blah?
Yeah. Narcissism.
No, and actually, I'm more specialized. I'm specifically a behavior analyst, but I mainly work with older adults with Alzheimer's disease and other types of dementia. So I listen to see if there's any indication that either of you is kind of losing your memory or maybe.
Oh my God, Jonathan!
I am 100% convinced that I have early onset Alzheimer's.
Me too. I tell this to Katie all the time. Oh, is there a test? Is there something that we could do? Boy, that would be a funny episode if we could record like an introductory session.
Yeah, would you be able to join us? And we could actually do like some kind of test or breakdown.
Yeah, I could do that.
So there's like a specific thing. Now, at what age? Because as you know, I am 40 in my mid to late 30s. Kyle is 34, so you're in your late 20s. What is typical for? If there is a typical, what would the typical age be that you would start to see the signs of dementia or Alzheimer's?
Well, if it was early onset, it could be late 40s, early 50s. If it's regular, it wouldn't be until late 60s, 70s, sometimes into the 80s.
Okay.
Do you have exercises? Is that stuff that you recommend? Like if you have a patient in the and I hesitate to even call them patients because I don't know if that's the correct terminology, in their 40s or 50s to where they've been diagnosed with early onset, that you say, well, you can do these, whether it's, Sudokus or unless it's actual word
crossword
things.
puzzles, things like that.
Do you have any recommendations for people who have deathly fear that they may already have some signs?
Well, there's not a lot of research that supports anything as sort of an intervention to slow it down or wear it off. But there's lots of research that shows that if you do things that sort of challenge you to have to learn something brand new. So, like Sudoku is great until you get used to it. Then you're not working that hard at it anymore.
Okay. So it's important to switch it up.
So challenge yourself, switch it up, do different things that are mentally involved and challenging. And that research has shown is correlated with people who, if they have Alzheimer's, it hits later.
Okay, that makes so like learning a new language or learning to play the guitar or something like that really requires you to think about something new.
Oh, so I've pretty much done that with my air piano.
Language and music are great things. Okay. Language and music would be great.
I hate both of them.
Okay. If we could schedule a test, that would be great. Of course, I'm not going through insurance because that is a pain. Yep. So you're just going to be doing this one pro bono.
Well, that's good because I technically can't diagnose. I do it as a screener, and then I would refer to somebody. But I can do the screener.
Okay,
and I don't ever charge anybody for that.
So you can't diagnose, but
wink, wink.
You can diagnose, right?
Right.
Right.
Well, I'm better at diagnosing when I'm in the front row at Live at Night show.
Oh boy. Well, luckily, Kyle knows a guy.
Yeah, I just got to get a hold of them.
Yes.
Jonathan, you're kind of in the industry. Do you know somebody who may be like a relationship therapist that Steve and I could sit down with and make sure we're still going strong after 5+ years?
I know a few people. I could probably make some referrals. I don't know. They might not be as
referral though. That's
on the pro bono.
Yeah, that sounds like insurance. And look, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I do not understand insurance at all. Yeah. I don't really know what a deductible is. Yeah. I don't know what it means when you've met your deductible and you have whatever. I don't know what
a deductible is. A premium, right?
I don't know what the premium is.
Well, I'll put that on the poll. A deductible is a premium, right?
That is stuff that my wife is really good at taking care of. So when she says we only have $200 till we meet our deductible, I go, yeah.
That seems like a lot. And then she goes, what? And you say, no, I meant not a lot.
Right. I just got my words mixed up because of my early onset Alzheimer's. I have no idea. No idea. Okay, so yeah, if we could get scheduled for that. Seriously though, I would love to do this. Now, is this something that you have to administer in person, or do we do it individually? Can we do it in a podcast setting? How does it work?
You would do it individually because if one hears the answers,
we don't want them to be influenced.
Mm-hmm. Although, in theory, if you had a memory issue, you wouldn't remember that you'd heard the answer.
Oh, good point.
Typically, it's done
okay
individually so that the other person isn't helping somebody.
Right.
And then they do include there's some drawing components and some pictures. So it would probably require at least a video feed.
Okay.
But I don't think it would have to be done in person.
Okay.
What's the field where they would show us the Rorschach test? Is that is that psychologist, or is that a different field entirely?
That falls into psychoanalysis, which is under the broad umbrella of psychology, but it's a very different specialization.
The Rorschach, is that like the ink blot? What do you see? I see a butterfly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I believe I speak for both of us. We are 100% serious about this. Mm-hmm. This would be awesome. I need to know when things are going to turn bad for me so I can get out in front of it. If there was something that you saw, would you feel comfortable telling us in a podcast setting?
Mm-hmm. I would. I don't know if you'd be comfortable. Oh, I guess it's podcast. It's not live. So if you needed to sort of go back and say, holy cow,
Jonathan, you've listened to this. Do you think we edit anything on this thing?
Yeah, we edit nothing. Nothing happens after we're done recording.
You edit swearing, which is always kind of a bummer.
Well, we just bleep it. We're for the children. We're here for the children, Jonathan.
Yeah, we're trying to be in the family friendly podcast category for this year's podcast awards.
Yeah, I do have a few more questions, and this is the way this always goes. But what happened in your childhood that made you not use dashes between your phone number when you sent it to us?
Good Lord. Yeah, I could analyze this all day.
I think that was mainly just nerves of sending my phone number
to your
as
heroes
quickly as I could without really thinking it through.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to clarify. And the last, the big item I had, because as soon as I looked at, our messaging history, I saw you were, from 4+ years ago, one of the original buyers of the Steve and Kyle Tour Shirts 1.0.
Yeah, the Boston trip.
Now, we offer, we would sign those, or we would even leave remarks. Did you get anything on those, or did you just want the shirt, none of the scribbles from Steve and Kyle on that?
Oh, no. I got the shirt, and I got the scribbles, too.
Very nice. Now, is it still around? Do you still have it, or did that thing fall apart after a month?
No, it did not. The only scribble I got, because I'm looking at it right now, Kyle has "I Love America" pointed at his
of course I do.
Bandana.
The Moons and Stars bandana.
Signatures.
Okay. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Man, this is... I haven't updated this thing in years. I just had to find, Jonathan, and open the podcast contacts spreadsheet I have. And you are now the official 4th podcast contact as the show head correspondent.
Yeah.
You're going along with the music correspondent, Dan Scheich, the movie and awards correspondent, and Stan the Movie Man. Mm-hmm. And then we have, obviously, the show Jewish correspondent, as we talked about, Brian Krause. I know we've talked to others. Wow. If you're a show expert that we've discussed before and you're not on that list, please remind me, and I will add you so we can call you in a pinch. But remember, this is not a responsibility to take lightly.
Yep.
You are on call 24/7, 365. If we have a head question or a psychology question for you
on Christmas Day.
Yep. If I'm having an argument on Christmas Day with my family, and you're on the hook. Mm. So this is not a responsibility to take very lightly.
I held on to a poster for 2.5 years. You know I'm going to be ready for that phone call.
That you did.
Excellent point.
That you did. Boy, excellent. Jonathan, we're going to talk to you again sometime really soon because I have questions for your wife. Number one, why? And and then a million questions about why or what she has thought about this fathead sitting in your lives for 2.5 years for someone who doesn't listen and can't blame her, doesn't care. Does she listen to the radio show at least?
She does occasionally, yeah. and she'd actually have some good stories for you because she had to sit next to me when I brought it to the Thanksgiving show and held it up, and I had her take the picture of me so that I could show that I was there with it. She was pretty embarrassed about that.
Oh, very nice. Oh, man. Well, I don't blame her. Lapsed listening, pretty common over there. I hear the production's not at the par.
No, not good. Well, Jonathan, we appreciate you picking up the phone. Thank you so much for
I appreciate you asking and calling.
Being the caretaker of the fathead for the last 2.5 years.
Yes.
And we look forward to talking to you again.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you. We're going to get something on the books, Jonathan. Thank you. Because, I neglected. We try to read the reviews. So Jonathan left a review back in June of 2019. Or I'm sorry, August 2019. Okay. 17.
So just months before he got the fathead.
Barely. He's barely been on the list. I listened to 152 episodes before writing a review. What can I say? I wanted to be sure I liked it. Well, I do, and you will too. These guys could read the phone book and people would pay to hear it. Well, that's statistically, we have 5 years of evidence saying that's not true.
There's at least 2 people.
That's right.
Trevor
and Billy Stacks.
Billy Stacks.
But luckily, you can hear it for free. Hell, I listened to them review popsicles for 15 minutes and was bummed they moved on. Couldn't tell you one second about why we were reviewing popsicles.
Was that the ice cream? Was that looped in with the ice cream episode?
I don't know.
Maybe?
We must have done a separate popsicle taste test as well.
We called it a popcast.
But I digress. Their poignant discussion of current events makes them a required listen for me each week. I even take time away from listening to the side gig, which he pays for.
Good man.
Well, I happen to know a guy for that too, Jonathan. Maybe we can...
Again, get me in touch.
To catch the show each week, misunderstood librarians, trips to Jamaica. I don't remember talking about librarians. Oh, book boxers is what he meant. Popping tendons, rowdy softball jocks, horribly mismanaged home improvements, low-calorie ice cream, obscure facts from 80s sitcoms, missing body parts from celebrities, paint that won't dry, dead grass, hot takes that burn, 2 minutes of awkward silence, billboard across America, the Fast Five. Yes, this podcast has it all, including all those bits that we don't do.
That's a hell of a review.
Give it a listen. I promise you won't regret it, like Steve regrets buying his second Jeep. And if you don't like it, just play it in the background for white noise like most of their listeners do.
Okay.
As most of those reviews go, a real shiv at the end there. Like Steve and I in prison, just kind of trying to walk our way to the restroom, catch one between the ribs.
He has already forwarded
beautiful
pictures. I'll pull it up on the
Our
Tron
thanks
for
to
you.
Jonathan
There we go.
Baker for being accessible and answering immediately.
The back of it. And
boy, that's not really conducive to writing on it in the back. Behind it, is it? Did we think about that?
No. And there it is.
That is right on the bedspread too, as advertised. Boy, I'm stunned if Jonathan doesn't have anywhere between 2 and 4 kids, knowing that was near the bedspread.
Yeah.
For the past 2.5 years.
Oh man, what a good man though.
A good man.
I'm excited about getting a brain analysis.
A screener.
Yeah,
as he called it.
A little nervous, but
yeah, that's good. I also put it on the poll. Should we seek out relationship counseling? I think that would be. I think that'd be wise. Just because all the issues we had over the years.
Boy, we got so sidetracked, which we normally do. You said, look at that. We're 50 minutes in.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about it. We haven't talked about Bob Saget.
That might have to get bumped. We have to do. We still have a movie review that I did not post about last night. Got caught up doing that. I fell asleep watching it, which doesn't bode well for the review, for the score. Do you want to do that? Because I think we have to get to that, right?
Yeah, we have to get to the movie review.
Right.
We are a few weeks minimum behind on polls.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to get to those, or we can easily bump those another week as well. This is what happens. This is an embarrassing thing where you actually said before, boy, I don't really have much to go on today.
Yeah, and look at that.
I had a couple of really big complaints I wanted to get to, not about you or anything, but just about the world.
So is it a gripe of the week?
It's yeah, they are.
Do you want to do gripe of the week, and then we can go right into the movie review? And
listen, I never plan out the gripe of the week anyway, so I am just as prepared today.
He's mad. You're about to get an earful. So upset. He's angry. Hey, you!
I don't like when...
Kyle's gripe of the week. Gripe.
That's just... It brings me so much joy.
You really went into the lab for that one.
I did. Listen, and as I've talked about, every time I leave a little piece of myself down in the lab. Steve, thank you so much for that.
No problem.
Today, what has been...
Is this just going to be rapid fire gripes?
It is. Okay. Well, no, I'm just going to do one. Okay, I want to keep that, and it's something I actually mentioned to you kind of offhand.
Yeah.
It is, as we sit here today, the end of January.
Yeah, January. By the way, it is Saturday, January 29th, 2022, the year of our Lord. It's the Steve and Kyle podcast, as you are.
If you still have your Christmas lights up,
I know where this is going.
Outside or inside or whatever, that's okay.
Oh.
If you are turning your outside or inside Christmas lights on January 29, get your car out of the front yard, your front yard parking trash. I can't understand how lazy you must be if on January 29, the end of the month,
January 29,
the end of the following month, that those lights were relevant and mattered.
Yeah, at this point, they've probably been up. They're in their third month.
Unbelievable.
Of being up, almost into their fourth month.
And again, I'm absolving you of them being up. And that is an act of generosity on my part.
Yeah, mine are still, most of mine are still up outside.
You're welcome, people. I'm not upset about that today. But the clock's ticking on that. We'll come back to that in a month. If you are so lazy that you can't even go unplug the GD lights from the outlet they're in and simply not turn them on, if they're on a timer, how hard is it to not turn the timer on?
Just unplug the timer.
I'm looking at you. It's been 35 days since the actual holiday. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
You're dirtbag. I have my son. This is no joke. When I take him to daycare or anything outside of the neighborhood, we have, obviously, scum of the neighborhood. You're familiar. You see them all around.
Yeah. Sometimes M1.
Who still have their lights on, even in the morning, which, by the way, just piss the electricity away, okay?
Look, hard shut off 11 p.m.
Honestly,
everyone knows that.
Why do you need 7:30 a.m. icicle lights on, which don't get me going again on that, you scumbags? I have now trained him as we walk by, as we drive by. I say, Reed, those people have their lights on. What are they? And you know what he called them on Thursday morning?
What did he call them?
Garbage truck poopy heads.
Wow.
And that's what you are, people. If you're turning on your Christmas lights on January the 29th, you're a garbage truck poopy head.
Strong words.
Because,
boom, garbage truck poopy head.
Listen, though the time for your Christmas lights expired for my money, and I'm being generous, on January 5th. That's about 10 to 11 days after Christmas that you can turn them on. Even then, though, I want you all to know, if you have those things on after December 25th, scumbag front yard parkers, the whole lot of you, all of you, turn your Christmas lights off Now, you bunch of dirtbag people.
Oh.
I can't handle
you okay?
it. I'm
right.
good. I feel a lot better.
Good?
I feel a ton better. Thank you.
Okay. So do you want to get to the movie review?
I mean, I guess if you saw something.
I did. Last night I watched 2011's Thor. It's my fourth movie in the series.
Yes, that is. So we are still in Marvel Phase 1. So Phase 1 now ends. You have, after you've seen Thor, you have 2 movies remaining.
Yeah.
So, spoiler, next week you'll be watching Captain America, the First Avenger.
So I have 2 left in Phase 1?
Yes. Captain America, the First Avenger, and the Avengers.
Okay.
That wraps up Phase 1 before they moved into Phase 2, what they described as Phase 2. So, yeah, Steve, without further ado...
Is that recording?
Yeah, without further ado, 2011's Thor.
All right, 2011's Thor. Watched it last night. Thor is Odin's son. Odin is ready to call it quits, so he's going to make Thor the new king. But then the Ice People are trying to take out Asgard, and they show up like right as he's about to be the king. Thor and the gang decide to go through the space-time machine to get to the Ice People. Odin gets really pissed. He comes and brings them back, and he takes away Thor's hammer and his strength too, and he basically throws him down to Earth and says, "Go there. You're hanging out there for a while." The hammer, very heavy, very heavy.
Heaviest hammer.
It's Majorlanon. Morginalan.
Yep, Morginalan.
Loki is Thor's brother. Spoiler alert: he's actually an ice person that Odin stole when he was a little baby. Who knew? Jane, played by Natalie Portman, of course, the lovely Natalie Portman. She's like a storm chaser physicist or something like that. And then, and she's really, really...
30 seconds.
Okay, she gets really into Thor.
Well, who wouldn't? Handsome man.
Exactly. Very, very handsome man. Thor wants his hammer back, but it's too heavy for him to pick up. Again, the hammer, Majorlanon.
Mjolnir.
Loki shows up and says, "Guess what? Dad's dead. I'm the new king. You're banished here forever." Huh. Spoiler alert. Again, Dad's not dead. The war is now on between Loki and Thor. Loki sends a Godzilla-looking robot guy to kill everybody. Thor's dead. No, he's not. Thor's alive again. And he's Thor again. He's got his strength back because the hammer shoots out of the ground, lands in his hand. Boom! Thor and Loki fight. Thor destroys the bridge. Loki falls into space. So Loki's dead. Oh, wait till after the credits. Like 15 minutes later, Loki is still alive and he's controlling the Skarsgård dude somehow.
Skarsgård dude.
Yeah, because he says like, "Oh, this will be interesting" or something like that. Yeah. And then when they find the power source, it's like over.
Huh. Okay.
Pretty good review, right?
I think you nailed all the big points there.
Mm-hmm. Again, these are not so much reviews as they are recaps.
Yeah.
I do give a review at the end, though.
Right. Let me ask you, did you want me to correct you on these items? Or did you just want...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. Did I get anything wrong? Did I miss any big plot points?
No, you didn't. I mean, granted, these aren't your cup of tea. You're not looking out for this. So, did you notice the man shooting arrows at the start of the movie? Or not the start of the movie, but...
I remember it.
Okay, that's Hawkeye. That's Clint Barton. Plays Hawkeye.
Yeah, he just kind of pops up.
Yep. Same way they kind of introduced Natasha, Black Widow in the previous movie.
Yeah, kind of like, "Hey, I could shoot him right now. You want me to shoot him?"
Yep.
No? All right, cool. And then he goes away.
Yep. He's in the future movies, as you'll see, and I'm sure you probably already know.
Sure.
You mentioned the power source at the end. That is the Tesseract, Steve. The Tesseract, which is the main sticking point, if you will, the main point of controversy in the Avengers, which is 2 movies away for you. So it just kind of goes to foreshadow the years-long planning this whole universe has gone through.
That's like the Holy Grail, the big energy source that can control or can power everything.
The Ice People, as you refer to them, those are the Frost Giants.
Yeah, didn't like them. Like them.
I did notice. Now, you were a Game of Thrones guy, right?
No.
Okay, well then, the main villain in the Game of Thrones. And I'll post a side-by-side of this on our social media because I noticed it rewatching Thor for the first time in 11 years alongside you. Game of Thrones guys just ripped the design off.
Did they?
For the head ice person, the
Ice People.
The Ice People. Let me ask you this, because this was really...
I like this. You're kind of quizzing me on it.
Yeah. This was really the first appearance on a large scale where people saw Tom Hiddleston, who played Loki.
Yeah.
Can you explain to me, because I rewatched it as well, like I just said, can you explain to me why he became this gigantic sex symbol among women? Because I watched him and he's pale, he's timid.
Did he become it because of this movie? Because
he became massively popular among females. Now, Tom Hiddleston, you look at him today and he looks a little bit different, but he still has a slicked back, long black hair.
Yeah, but
back in Thor, boy, oh boy, he looked like a frail, sickly man.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's the character he's playing. I mean, I think he's a good-looking guy. Mm-hmm. Good-looking guy. So yeah, I mean, I can see it. I'm sure that the women find him lovely. He seems like a lovely man.
Any other takeaways you had from this? Did you? I mean, we haven't gotten to your review yet. We will momentarily.
Yeah.
You're kind of in the introductory phase right now.
Yeah.
So if you had to list in terms of enjoyment, you've seen obviously the more Iron Man than any other character. Mm-hmm. In terms of enjoyment, you've now met Tony Stark. You've met Nick Fury. You've met Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow.
Yep.
You've met Thor.
Met the Incredible Hulk.
And introduced to Hawkeye.
Kind of, yeah.
Where are you at in do you like the characters? Is there one that you're like, oh boy, snooze, or I'm bored by? I don't really care to see more.
Tony Stark, love him.
Right. Because, I mean, he's a fan favorite for the reason. I mean, he's quick-witted. He's funny.
Nick Fury, don't really have too much of a I mean, he's not a major character.
He hasn't shown up to be part of the movies yet.
Perfectly fine. Like Black Widow.
Yep.
She seems good. Hulk. I don't know. I didn't really enjoy that movie, so
that was Well, as you described, I don't have the exact.
Oh, I think
review.
I have the review.
Dismal garbage.
Dismal,
what it was
dismal garbage. Yeah. Boy, looking back, that's kind of mean. Iron Man 2. What did I say about that? Oh, I think that all of the hate it gets is undeserved. That was my official.
That's right,
and that's what'll be on the movie poster.
So that now brings us.
I do like Thor.
Okay.
The character.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to see Thor over the course of the next, 10 years of movies. Because Thor, and I was talking about this with a friend, undergoes a real transformation in the coming years in movies in terms of the way he's written. So Thor in the comic books is super no-nonsense. Mm-hmm. He's not a very fun guy in terms of he's not making quips. He's not your Iron Man or Spider-Man that you'll see. He is.
Wait, Spider-Man is? Oh yeah, Spider-Man's in this universe, right?
He comes up. Yeah.
Okay.
But they change him to that.
100% serious that was a serious question.
Well, I mean, listen, we're not that far removed from you asking. I believe it was a week ago. So wait, Batman is a different thing. And to answer that question again. Yes. Batman is a, quote, different thing.
Okay.
Than these. So, Steve, you're 4 movies in.
Yeah. So I didn't miss any big... as of right now, you don't think that there's anything that I've missed that...
No, listen, I don't want to bog you down with stupid minutia.
Okay.
Right? Because Jane Foster becomes... It's really weird because... While this is a universe, this is also a business.
Wait, Jane Foster, that's Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman.
Okay.
So Jane Foster...
Lovely, by the way. Love her.
Just leaves because there's contract issues.
So that's the last we see her.
I believe she's in the... She might be in the second one. Okay. I don't... the next Thor you see, which is a few movies away, is the bottom of the barrel. Mm. It is really bad. Okay. I don't remember much of it outside of it being a gigantic snooze. But yeah, so... She goes away. There's contract issues. Same. I mean, we talked about it with Terrence Howard getting the boot for Don Cheadle as War Machine and James Rhodes. So Jane Foster ends up being a big character. But again, I don't need to bog you down with that stuff. It doesn't matter to you. I enjoy watching or listening to you watch these as an outsider, someone who hasn't spent hours, kind of scouring the internet because it's easy to forget. These movies are happening years apart, right?
Yeah.
And as the universe and these movies became more popular, you have people sneaking set photos. Who's on set? What are they dressed as? What do they look like? And who could that be? What is this character? Oh, they put out a casting call. You don't care, and you shouldn't. I enjoy watching it and listening to it through that lens.
Yeah.
So you're 4 movies in, Steve. 2011's Thor. I need your official review. Hang on. I have to figure out how to type that. Is that 3 E's and 2 H's?
Yeah, sure. It's a little too sci-fi for me.
Mm-hmm. And if you think that one's too sci-fi for you, this one took place mostly on, or a lot on Earth.
Mm-hmm. I did not like the whole other realm thing.
Oh, you were a big Midgard fan, huh?
I do like things here on Midgard. I don't.
Watching
this immediately made me realize why I was never a Star Wars fan.
Sure.
I like action adventure, which I think Iron Man and Hulk were more action adventure.
Yes.
Because all of that, like, you know, Tony's got a mechanical suit and everything, but there's not a whole lot of like magic and
right. So the thing for you
other worlds and everything, like everything that he does, everything that Iron Man does, yes, it's ridiculous, but it's all
grounded.
I can keep it in my head of like, oh, it's just this crazy advanced technology. But once you start saying like we live in other dimensions and stuff like that, flying through space am I in for a bunch of bummer movies?
I think they're great, but I want to say this. I lean your way in that.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, granted, I am a comic book guy. I read the comic books. I'm familiar with a lot of the lore of the comic books. I steer away from galaxy and space driven stories.
Yes.
It's not for me typically. I don't love them as much as I prefer to see aliens on Earth. Whatever. Heroes on Earth dealing with earthly problems, right? So yes, I am very excited to hear you talk about Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Oh, boy, I got a few coming up, don't I?
Yeah,
I just found myself.
These are very well regarded in terms of the Marvel universe. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, a lot of people would tell you are the best Marvel movies in the universe.
I just found myself being very disinterested in any scene that didn't take place on Earth.
And Thor's a little bit extra in terms of, you're talking Thor the Dark World, the next one. You have dark elves, you have frost giants, you're dealing with the Bifrost, like you saw, the Rainbow Road, if you will.
Yeah.
That's a little bit less grounded than what Doctor Strange, which is on Earth, but is dealing with, you know, the Sorcerer Supreme, and the Guardians of the Galaxy, which literally don't see Earth.
All right.
So those are coming up in phases 2 and 3. I'm excited. We are 4 movies in, 2 to go in phase 1. The Avengers coming up in 2 weeks. Next week, Steve, you will be watching the initiation of Chris Evans as Captain America.
Okay.
The first soldier? The first Avenger.
I should probably figure that out.
It's Captain America. I mean, it's hard
Captain America.
Yeah, it's hard to miss that. It does have a subtitle, but yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Captain America, the first Avenger, 2011. So far you've watched Iron Man 2008, Hulk 2008, Iron Man 2 2010, and you are now into 2011 after watching Thor. Well, just mere 3 months after Thor, Captain America was released in theaters in July.
Are you surprised that I have not given up yet? I've consistently done 4 in a row.
Yeah.
I need to adjust my schedule. I really need to do these earlier in the week.
Okay.
As opposed to later in the
week. Well,
week.
because then you feel like you're under a crunch.
I do.
Right?
And then
so you're sitting there Friday night and you're like, oh, I have to watch
I feel like it's a chore. Like I'm watching it and it's like homework.
Yeah,
so maybe if I could do it on like, we record on a Saturday, I watch the movie on a Sunday. Plus it gives me a couple days to kind of like...
You can digest
it. And if I need to go back and watch a couple scenes to see if there's anything I missed.
I'm going to put on the poll because we're months away from this becoming something that we would have to talk about. I wonder if I should ask you to watch the television shows when they come up.
Oh boy, come on! I already have 23 more movies to watch.
I know,
plus
but
a whole
the
other
thing
universe.
Is, a lot of these characters from the TV shows, and all these TV shows have come out this year and last year on Disney. They factor in, and they're going to factor in a lot of those characters.
But again, I want to watch these in the order that they came out. So I am giving reviews in the order that everybody else. I don't want any inside info or knowledge that I wouldn't have gotten from something that has happened since then that wasn't part of the original story. All I need to know is, when does Dean Cain come back as Superman?
Dean Cain from the convention circuit and the far right Twitter account of Dean Cain.
Dean Cain of Dean Cain fame.
When does he come back? Boy, I mean, did he ever really leave? Sadly, no.
By the way, apologies to Robert.
Yeah, we lost him.
I'm
going to put it on the poll. Should Steve have to watch the Marvel shows?
Oh, Jesus.
But this is a whole thing that I don't think I want to unleash on you, because there's also two kind of separate forms of these. Netflix made a deal with Marvel before Disney Plus was a thing. So there's Netflix shows for 4 characters that came out before Disney Plus, and this evolved relationship was a thing. So you have Daredevil, you have Jessica Jones, you have Luke Cage, and you have the Iron Fist. And then there's multiple seasons of those shows from Netflix. Those all got canceled. Nobody really knew if those were going to become part of what we have today.
Sure.
The Marvel Universe. Or do I just make you watch the new Marvel shows that are on Disney, which are WandaVision, Loki.
I don't like Loki. Did not like Loki as a character.
He's a fan favorite. A gigantic fan favorite.
Well, you can't tell. Is he? Because at first he's a good guy because he's
a brother.
He's
right?
Thor's brother. But then you find out that he's the one that let the ice people in when Thor was about to be made king. And then he
found out he wasn't a legitimate son of Odin.
Right, yeah. That when you find out he's an ice person, that's a big bummer. But then he invites the ice people in to kill Odin, but right as the ice guy is about to kill Odin, Loki kills the ice person.
Yeah.
Why? So he could kill Odin?
Well, the idea was he wanted to show
that
he saved it and that Thor didn't need to be. Yeah. I also put that on the poll. When you found out Loki was an ice person, was that a big bummer?
Yeah.
I put that on the poll as well. So, again, 4 down, 23 movies to go, possible Disney Plus television shows to go.
Oh, boy.
We'll address those as we approach Phase 4 of the Marvel Universe.
This is a lot. But, yeah, you can follow along on social media at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Yep.
Thank you to Jonathan Baker.
Yep, Jonathan. So
Jonathan.
I heard he prefers to go by.
Yeah, thank you for being a wonderful custodian of the Kyle Fathead, which will be back into rotation. Boy, I would have thought it had more than one signature on the back of it after all the shows that I saw that thing on. I know that our buddy Timmy had it at some shows. I'm surprised Timmy didn't sign it. But
I wonder if the piece of cardboard I wrote a long note on it.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe people signed that cardboard and they were sending. If that's still there as well. But anyway, we'll figure out a way to get that thing moving
back into rotation.
What are you guys thinking on the side gig? Announcements for these shows next few weeks?
Yeah, there's a couple that are. A date is on the books, but it's still kind of.
Still need the.
We're still
cash to clear. The check.
Still waiting to see how much of the cheddar is going to be in my pocket.
Negotiating the old first class of commercial.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, everybody goes through it.
But we will have more news on that coming up. We got so much stuff we didn't get to, but actually like 2 of the things that are on there will be better suited for next week.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so if you want to watch along, I'm watching Captain America this week. I'll post a little teaser at some point when I'm watching it, and then the review will be on next week's episode. Again, at Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Yes.
Talk to you next week from APS 4.0.